In this session, we are sharing what CASB mentors have told us about the mentoring practices in their offices. We conducted interviews with early career CAs who are involved with the mentoring programs in their offices, including at national CA firms, large and small offices. Mentors shared common CASB student mentoring practices at their workplaces. Not all of these practices may apply in your office, and after this session, you may have your own ideas for how to support your students. By the end of this session, you will be aware of common CASB student mentoring practices at CA training offices, understand which practices work best in which offices, know what resources are available to assist you in supporting your students, know how to access the CASB Mentor Center, and know how to register for the mentor modules. We'll start with an overview of common mentoring practices at CA training offices. In our discussions with CA training offices, CASB discovered 10 common mentoring practices, including a buddy system, a CASB orientation session, a Module 1 session, a case writing skills session, various technical sessions, practice case writing sessions, module champions, administrative support, a CASB team, and time off for study. We'll discuss each of these in greater detail. The orientation, Module 1 session, and case writing skills session are ideal for Module 1 students. The case writing skills session can also be a useful refresher at any point in the CASB program, particularly in Module 5, which places a strong emphasis on writing UFI simulations. The remaining activities are applicable to students across all modules. Mentoring practices are not mandated by CASB. You can choose those strategies that are most appropriate for the circumstances in your office. We'll discuss the buddy system first. Students are matched with a buddy who can be a qualified CA or a more advanced student. The student and their buddy can meet on a regularly scheduled formal basis, or they can meet as needed. Some offices choose to implement the buddy system for Modules 1 and 2 only, while others ensure students have access to a buddy throughout the CASB program. A buddy serves a number of roles, including defining and clarifying terms, identifying potential research sources, encouraging skill development, discussing technical topics, advising on task approaches, time allocation and layout, and reviewing facilitator feedback with the student. CASB has numerous resources that assist you in implementing the buddy system. All of the resources in the CASB Mentor modules and Mentor Center will be useful to buddies. We'll cover these in greater detail toward the end of this session. The Communication and Critical Thinking Guide, as well as the Critical Thinking Mentor Tool, will also be useful. Finally, the Guide to Approaching a Simulation will also help. Next, we'll talk about the CASB orientation session. Some training offices enlist advanced CASB students or recently qualified CAs to deliver this session as part of the office's new employee orientation or at some point prior to Module 1. The purpose of the orientation session is to provide new students with an overview of the CASB program and an outline of what students can expect over the next 2 years. The orientation session can cover CASB program objectives, expectations, time commitments, key CASB policies, key training office policies and support, module schedules, and registration dates. For help with implementing a CASB orientation session, you can refer to CASB's Education Policy Manual, CASB Student Resource Guide, the Secure Exam Guides, the Schedule of Key Dates, and the CASB brochure, which can be found on the Become-a.ca website rather than in the CASB Mentor Center or Mentor modules. Now, we'll discuss the Module 1 session. Similar to the CASB orientation session, training offices enlist the advanced CASB students or recently qualified CAs to hold the Module 1 session in the first week of Module 1. The purpose of the session is to provide support and guidance in areas where students typically struggle when they are new to the CASB program. This session can include an overview of handbook layout, Excel tips, virtual professional library tips, an overview of expectations, secure exam tips, a summary of Module 1 task requirements, and suggested weekly time requirements. If you are interested in holding a Module 1 session for your students, you might find the following resources useful: the Module 1 Student Overview, the Module 1 Storyboard, which can be found in the Module 1 Student Overview, and the Secure Exam Guides. You might also want to watch the Module 1 Mentoring Tips presentation in CASB's Mentor Center. Next, we'll talk about case writing skills. Again, training offices solicit the help of advanced CASB students or recently qualified CAs to hold a case writing skills session prior to Module 1 evaluation or as part of the Module 1 session. Students in Module 1 may not yet have honed their case writing skills, so this session is valuable early on in the program. Some offices also choose to hold this session throughout the CASB program as a way for students to refresh their case writing skills. Module 5 places particular emphasis on case writing as students attempt UFI simulations for the first time, so some offices may choose to hold this session to coincide with Module 5. The purpose of this session is to offer additional support to students writing comprehensive cases and integrated multi-subject questions for the first time. The session may include guidance on how to outline a case, how to identify the requireds, how to discuss alternatives, how to come up with a conclusion, and how to allocate time wisely. The Guide to Approaching a Simulation will assist you in holding a case writing skills session. You might also want to watch the Approaching a Simulation presentation in CASB's Mentor Center for guidance on case writing. Now we'll cover technical sessions. These sessions are normally delivered by internal training office staff who are subject matter experts or by external experts. These sessions are scheduled to coincide with the point at which the technically challenging topic appears in the CASB curriculum. The purpose of these sessions is to provide additional instruction in technical areas that students may struggle with. The sessions could be focused on consolidations, advanced tax concepts, or any other technically challenging topic. You will find the module student overviews, the module storyboards within the student overviews, and CASB's Technical Resources Center useful in developing technical sessions. Next, we'll discuss practice case writing sessions. In these sessions, students write practice cases, and training office staff or external experts review responses and provide feedback. Cases are normally debriefed in a group setting. Feedback and debriefing are important parts of the case writing process. Formal practice sessions that include review and feedback will help students hone their case writing skills and help boost their confidence. These sessions are usually held 2 weeks prior to the module evaluation. We recommend that students practice using Secure Exam during these sessions so there are no surprises come evaluation day. A number of resources can assist you in holding practice case writing sessions, including the Guide to Approaching a Simulation, the Case Writing Introduction document, the various practice cases, case assessments and sample responses, the Secure Exam Guides, and the Secure Exam Tips for Case Writing document. Now, we'll talk about module champions. Some training offices appoint advanced CASB students or recently qualified CAs to act as subject matter experts for each of the modules. The module champions are the go-to people for module-specific questions throughout the modules. The champions address students' module-specific questions as required. Although not always the case, in some offices they also develop and deliver technical sessions or mark and debrief practice cases. If you are interested in appointing module champions to support your students, you will find the module student overviews and the module storyboards in those overviews very useful. You might also want to watch the mentoring tips presentations for each of the CASB modules in the Mentor Center for additional guidance. Next, we'll cover administrative support. Some offices designate a CASB coordinator who provides overall administrative support for the office's CASB mentoring program. The coordinator is normally a training office staff member but does not have to be a CA or CA student. The coordinator provides support throughout all of the CASB modules, including distributing communication related to the CASB program and office mentoring activities, such as sending CASB module registration reminders to students or sending out notifications for upcoming mentoring sessions, and coordinating meeting space and technology requirements for mentoring sessions. If you are interested in designating a CASB coordinator at your office, the schedule of key dates is a useful reference document. Now, we'll cover the role of the CASB team. Some offices formalize the team of everyone responsible for overseeing CASB mentoring activities. The team can consist of advanced CA students or recently qualified CAs. Throughout all the CASB modules, the team provides overall leadership for the training office's CASB mentoring activity and develops and delivers specific CASB mentoring activities. The CASB team meets regularly to ensure the office's mentoring program is effective. Individual members take responsibility for developing and delivering the specific activities we outlined earlier in this session. Any of the resources we've highlighted so far are useful for implementing a CASB team. Finally, some training offices provide their students with 1 or 2 days off toward the end of the modules in order to prepare for the module end evaluations. This is not a CASB-mandated practice, and since we are no longer assigning additional tasks to students during week 8 of the modules, students can now use their evenings and weekend during that period to prepare for evaluations. Next, we'll clarify which practices work best in which offices. Offices with fewer students and fewer staff members to support them may not have the resources to do all of these. Many smaller offices typically select 2 or 3 to focus on, most commonly the buddy system, the practice case writing sessions, and the time off for study, though again, this is not mandated by CASB. Larger offices with more students and more staff to support them may also choose to participate in 2 or 3 or a combination of more of these practices. None of these are required, though, and we encourage offices to select the activities that work best in their environments. Now, we'll summarize the various resources that are available to you to help you support your students and let you know how to access the CASB Mentor Center. You have 3 sources of valuable information available to you: the Mentor Center, the CASB Mentor modules, and the UFI Prep Mentor module. All of the resources we've identified in this section are located in either the Mentor Center or the Mentor modules. Let's take a moment to distinguish the 3 from each other. A Mentor Center contains various mentoring resources, including an overview of common mentoring practices at training offices, a general framework for mentoring students through modules 1 to 5, module-specific mentoring tips, and additional mentoring guidance on specific topics such as case writing and critical thinking. Recordings of any webinars we hold will also be posted to the Mentor Center. The Mentor Center is located on the CASB website and is open to all, as we support the mentoring activities you carry out at training offices. We also have 2 different types of mentor modules. The CASB mentor modules contain all the learning materials from modules 1 through 5. In other words, they provide you with access to the same materials students engage with as they complete the CASB modules. The CASB Mentor modules also contain links to all the Mentor Center resources. The CASB Mentor modules are housed in Desire to Learn, CASB's learning management system. Since they contain proprietary information, you must register to gain access to these modules. And finally, the UFI Prep Mentor module contains all the learning materials from CASB's UFI Prep program, as well as links to relevant Mentor Center resources. The UP Prep Mentor module provides you with access to all of the materials that your students will use to prepare for the UP. The UP Prep Mentor module is also housed in Desire to Learn and requires you to register to obtain access. Finally, we'll show you how to register for the Mentor modules. Why register for the CASB Mentor modules? Unlike the Mentor Center, the Mentor modules contain all learning materials from modules 1 through 5. Registration enables you to access the same information your students see as they make their way through the CASB modules. Registered mentors also receive advance notice of any mentoring events such as webinars and are informed as new mentoring resources are developed. Who can register? Qualified CAs or CASB students who are more senior to the students they are mentoring can register. HR and student contacts at CA training offices can also register, even if they are not CAs. To register, complete the CASB Mentor registration application in the Forms section of the CASB website. Registration is valid until mid-October of each year, and content is refreshed with each module offering. We will contact you each fall to renew your registration for the coming year. Even though we did not specifically cover the UP Prep Mentor module in this session, some of you may also mentor students who will be preparing for the UP. So, we'll take a moment to show you how to get access to this module. Why register for the UP Prep Mentor module? Again, unlike the Mentor Center, the UP Prep Mentor module contains all learning materials from CASB's UP Prep program. You will have access to the same resources your students will use to prepare for the UP. Registered mentors also receive advance notice of any UP mentoring events such as webinars and are informed as new UP mentoring resources are developed. Who can register? Qualified CAs or CASB students who have successfully completed the UP can register. HR and student contacts at CA training offices can also register, even if they are not CAs. To register, complete the UP Mentor registration application in the Forms section of the CASB website. Registration is valid until the end of April each year, and content is refreshed each May. We will contact you each spring to renew your registration for the coming year. If you have any questions regarding CASB mentoring, please contact Laura Gregorick, CASB's Director of CA Training Offices, via email at laura.gregorick@casb.com or via phone at 604-488-2645. As mentors, you play an important role in student development, and CASB values the support you provide to CA students. Thank you for your interest and dedication. This concludes the CA Training Office Mentoring Practices session.